I don't care if you young, old, just coming out, coming back out. The record. If you ain't got that record, always about the record.
Welcome to the Timbo King Live Show. I'm Timbo King, your host for this evening. Special guest, we have Stella Magloire. I'm saying it correct? Stella Magloire?
Magloire, there you go.
Okay, Stella Magloire, photographer of the superstars from the 90s till now. What's up, Stella?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming to the show today, you know.
Thank you, man. I'm excited.
You like the set? You like the set?
I like it, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, you know, we had to do it right, you know.
All right.
So how you been?
Everything is good, man. I'm excited. How you?
I'm doing great. You know, new ventures, you know, Timbo King Live Show where we interview the movers and shakers of the music business then and now. So, you know, you had, we had Vinny Idol, we had Bronze Nazareth, we had Pop from Project Heat, and we have you.
All right, cool. And who better to do it?
Oh, why not?
I like that.
So you're originally from Brooklyn, right?
Originally from Brooklyn. No.
Where are you from?
I was born in Africa.
Africa, okay.
My family's, you know, and my family's from Haiti.
Okay, so
my boule.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then we resided in Brooklyn and grew up here.
So what section of Brooklyn?
East Flatbush.
East Flatbush in the building. Okay. So what made you get into photography? Was it a childhood's passion, or somebody turned you on to the trade? What?
So it was a childhood passion.
Okay.
So in the family, my father had a camera. It's called a Yashica mat. Just little ones. A Yashica mat.
Okay. Was that manual? That was manual then, right?
Yeah, you had to put the film in. You had to wind it up.
Wow, one of those.
And then you had to look down.
To cameras, but you know.
You had to look down into it. It was like a medium format camera.
So your father introduced you to the first camera that you used?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a Mickey Mouse camera.
Okay.
Right. I took pictures with it, and I just took pictures for the family. But from there, I would say that's where the energy came from.
Okay.
High school. The spark, yeah. Okay. High school, I went to Art and Design High School for commercial arts, so drawing.
That's in Manhattan, New York City.
In Manhattan, in the city.
A lot of talented artists went to Art and Design.
Yeah. Okay. And then from there, I took photography, and I was in love with it ever since then.
So
and I realized
was it a course in high school that you had photography?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a course in high school, and I love the school. I think art and design, anybody who has a vocational kind of skill that they could take, learn it. Go to school, get the trade. Because what it does is it brings out your talent and makes you know that you could do it as a business.
Okay.
Right?
So when you know that it was going to become a business for you?
It became a business when I started getting paid, man.
So who was like one of your first batch of clients?
Oh my goodness. The first company was Capitol Records.
Capitol Records. So you dealt with corporations before artists.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I would say Capitol Records, and I was introduced to Capitol Records by my cousin Chris X, who's a writer.
Okay.
And then he introduced me to Donna Torrance, who's a publicist.
Donna, okay.
All right. And then from there, my first shoot was Channel Live.
Channel Live. Big up to Channel Live. All we do is smoke madism. That's what it is.
Wake up in the morning. And then it just trickled from there. You know? Yeah. She taught me a lot about the business.
Album photo shoot, or was it a regular 8x10 photo shoot? What explain to the people.
So that first photo shoot was for the publicity pictures.
Okay, publicity. That's for radio.
For autographing. Okay. To give out to the public.
Okay.
If the magazine wanted a picture, they send that picture out. Okay. So that was that first photo shoot.
All right.
Right. I did Sprague Benz for Capitol Records, and then it just kept, KRS, everybody else from there, it just kept trickling on. Then I would go out to their events, and then I was working with the magazines. The nightlife.
Okay.
Or it could have been a music video.
Okay.
Or it could be a interview on the radio.
So to do those types of connections, did you have inside connections for music videos, or you knew a promoter at the club to go that night to the show? How did you mingle? How did you get around?
So it starts with being hired for the job. So as much as I like the nightlife, I had to have a reason to be out there.
Okay,
right?
Makes sense.
It was work more than it was the pleasure. So I ended up having a good time at work and getting paid for what I was doing.
I love it.
So I had to, cover the events, get the nice pictures, so we could have, when I started building up my clients, like let's say Channel Life, for instance, once I had Channel Life as a artist to follow in my mind, whenever they had something, I covered it.
So you were like their personal paparazzi at one time?
I wouldn't quite say their personal photographer. I would say that I created that for myself.
Okay.
Right? And so I had started that base where I had this artist, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to their events. When I went to their events, I would go back to the record label, hey, I bumped into your artists, and here's some of the stuff they have, and then they would buy it from me, and then I'll create a relationship.
So explain the buying process. So you would have the negative and would show them a copy of the photo?
I'll print it out. Well, back then it was negatives, like you said. It wasn't digital. So I'll print it out, and then
you had a dark room or something like that?
No, I didn't have a dark room.
No?
Well, I had access to a dark room, so if I wanted to do some special prints, I would go rent a dark room and print.
So you was a freelancer? You had your own company?
Freelance.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was my own company.
Nice.
So just individual. And then a few years later, I started working with my brother, and then he was helping me with some of the gigs when I started my family and everything. Yeah.
So photography, they say a picture has 1,000 words, right?
Yes.
So when you capture an image, what is it about that image that makes you want to capture that scene right there and there? It's like, is it the way the person moves or the expression of the person's face? What do you capture to make that person like, yo, I like that photo?
All right, what I look for is the moment.
The moment, okay.
The moment, right?
Okay.
So the person on the mic standing like this might not be that right moment that will make you feel like you were there. So I kind of like wait for the shot that's going to make you feel like, oh my gosh, like I felt like I could hear the words coming out this person's mouth.
So is it like you wait for something natural to happen?
A very natural moment, yes.
Okay.
But also, there are a lot of natural moments that don't really give you that energy though.
Okay.
Right? I'm naturally sitting like this, but you might not feel who I am, right? We shot before, right?
Yeah.
And then we had to talk about those images and how to get that feeling out, right? Because sometimes you have to really look at that eyes. You have to look at the body language to see which one tells a better story.
So did you have to study the camera? Like meaning like the lens, the lighting, the angle. Did you have to study the dynamics of the camera before you even got into photography?
Right. So yes, in high school.
Okay.
In high school, I was taught composition. I was taught how to, the language of the symmetries and the angles and what do you like taking.
So what is this
pictures?
position? Is it like this or what is it like? What is like that? Okay.
So you know what this means, right? You're basically looking at the frame.
Okay.
But a lot more people with film will probably do that.
Okay.
Right, so then they frame it
Like
up in their mind,
directors.
directors, so they frame it and they bring the camera, like that moment looks good to me right there.
Oh, so
right?
you do that? You do that?
No. I see it though.
Okay.
I see it because I've been shooting so much I can already
How long you been
find
shooting as a photographer?
Oh man, published. So the other question where you ask is when did you know you were professional?
Yeah, when did you
also
know?
comes with being published. Besides,
Meaning your art is out in the public?
Yes.
Okay.
Published in magazines.
Okay. What was your first magazine published?
Source magazine.
Source magazine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
That was
Source.
nice. What artist was it? Was it an ad? Was it a
I think it was
album ad?
I think it was Smooth the Hustler.
Smooth the Hustler. Shout out to Brownsville. Smooth the Hustler. Next level. DR. Period.
I think it was Smooth the Hustler, if I'm correct, or I want to say Smooth. It possibly Smooth, right? Smooth or.
That was Profile Records, right? Am I correct? Okay.
it was Profile.
Nice. Broken
And,
Language that time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Nice.
I actually did a picture where I double exposed it. So I rolled back my film and shot over the same picture. And so he was here and he was also rhyming here with the like kind of
I
into the
seen
audience.
that was an Inside Jacket, right? I believe.
No, it was in the Source magazine.
Oh, that was the Source magazine.
I don't know if they used it in the I'm not sure if they used it in their CD.
So what do you think about the new photographers now, like, do you think they get their just due, their credit? Because, like, if you bought albums back in the days, you would read the credits, like who did the photography, who did the layout. Like now, you know, you have iTunes, you have these digital stores. People don't even read credits no more. So people like you don't even exist into the public's eye. How come?
Right. So I would say that depending on who the people you're working with are.
Okay.
Right.
The talent.
So the talent. You have to make sure that you get that acknowledgement. You have to tell them, look, you know, how I continue working is you got to put my name down next to my image.
Okay.
Right?
Is it a certain piece of paper that they sign to? Do you come with some type of agreements?
The photo release forms.
Okay.
Right? Depending. So if I'm doing my own project, I get a photo release form. Okay. If I'm hired, I'm not really getting a photo release form. Okay. But it's an understanding that the photographer has the right towards the pictures, right? So
you have all access, meaning it exclusively is yours?
Yeah.
You can use it for the future?
Yeah.
Nice,
right.
Nice. Okay.
Depending on how I want to sell it, right? So I can't just take your picture and put it on T-shirts and start selling it in stores without your permission. Then it becomes a different kind of sale, right? But the same way that you could use my image and put it for publicity without it being an issue as well. Okay. The funny thing, so the thing about the images is that your images want to be able to sell and tell at the same time, right? So what I mean by that is, like, I took a picture of Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
Right?
The queen of hip-hop soul.
Queen of hip-hop soul. So I take pictures, and how many times you went to the club and parties and you toasting and I'm taking a picture, or everyone's taking a picture toasting with each other, right? So I took a picture, and I happened to catch her. It was at the Palladium Biggie party, and she had a bottle. But it was like these big promotional bottles. Okay. So it looked like she was posing with this huge Moet, right? So it was published on for Vibe magazine. Okay. The next thing you know, anytime I'm going to a party and I'm taking pictures of people, the publicists are whispering to their clients, and all of a sudden I see people putting their cups behind their back. And I'm like, the first time it happened to me, I'm like, yo, I wonder if that has anything to do with the picture I took. And I'm like, all right,
you're doing promotions to a bottle that has no permission of using? That's what they just saying?
Well, it became a situation more like we don't want to be misrepresented with liquor. Like somebody who drinks too much, or somebody who...
Oh, they didn't want that artist to portray that image.
Right. So it started changing the image. Okay. So people... And I
did you speak to Mary? Did she have a feeling about that? Did she know? She did?
Yeah. Let me tell you how I know that. Because like months later, I saw her at a party. And I'm like, hey, it's always her and her sister. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Tanya.
Let me get a picture.
Yeah,
right?
Tanya.
And she's like, she hesitated. And she did one of these like, okay, but no more pictures of alcohol in my hand, okay? And I'm like, oh, snap, are you kidding me? I said, all right, no problem. She's like, all right. And then I realized for sure that was a shift in the industry when it came to people taking pictures.
Because it wasn't no problem with everybody.
It was everyone was doing
photos
that.
with, alcohol in the clubs.
Now people were hiding it behind their backs, and it was definitely towards me. And I was like, okay, there's something that shifted with this image I took. Then someone called me and said, Stella, I just heard her on the radio, Mary J. Blige on the radio, talking about how she saw a picture that made her feel like changing her direction in her life. And it was that image. And I knew that after when I saw her. Wow. And I'm like, wow, okay. Like another time, it was Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah. So, she left the New York, went to Philly, and then came back, right? So then I saw her.
This is when she was on the radio?
She was on the radio here. She had that whole issue with the gay rapper and everything, right? So I had a photo shoot with her for a magazine, and my cousin calls me up, Chris X, and he's like, Stell, are you with Wendy right now? I'm like, actually, yeah, because she was all giving me shout-outs or whatever, right? And he said, yo, I have a story I want you to give to her. So I gave her...
You say a story give to her, meaning that you was just passing off. Okay.
It was a magazine that had a story about this gay rapper.
Okay.
That's the first time she heard about the gay rapper. And then
and you the one that handed to her?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that changed her whole story from there, you know. So it's interesting. So it's like I was very careful about making sure I wasn't considered a paparazzi that damaged people's careers, but in essence, the pictures changed people's career as well. So it didn't have to be for a bad reason. So I didn't really consider myself a paparazzi. I consider myself a lifestyle photographer that ended up traveling. Yes. It ended up traveling in different scenes because of hip hop. So because of hip hop, I ended up covering stuff in Hollywood. Because of hip hop, I was covering the reggae scene. Because of hip hop, I did some jazz. So because of my establishment and the things I was able to create, it helped me branch off in different ways. So for everybody who's a photographer and who's starting, I would suggest that you don't just stick in one category.
One genre of music.
One genre.
Okay.
Don't just do hip hop if you're going to do hip hop. Dabble in something else. Let it lead you to other places. You know, don't be afraid to.
Who was your clients in hip hop? You said Smooth the Hustler.
You know, I mean, I shot a lot. I shot a lot of people. I mean, Prince. I photographed Prince. I photographed Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz.
I photographed, you know, Karis. Well, I photographed a lot of artists.
So, do you have
Kobe
a gallery
Bryant.
of your artwork? Do you have a gallery that people can visit?
I have.
Or they can go online and see it?
I have to put a book together.
Yeah.
So I'll say that
you did a lot of great work. You did a lot of great work,
yeah.
And you need to be recognized. That's why I have you on the Tim King Show, Timbo King Live Show.
Thank you.
You know, this is where we acknowledge the great people, what they trade and skill. You know, a lot of people don't know, so you know that's why you're here.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man.
So, what do you have to tell a new photographer right now about? The digital age, you know, you've seen it both, the manual and digital. So what do you tell an artist that likes the authenticity of the photography of back then to convert it now?
So I feel like film. It took me some time to change from film to digital.
That's what I mean.
I'm not even gonna lie. When digital was out, I was like, I'm still holding on to my film camera, and I realized, okay, I realized I have to change.
Students in that same frame of mind?
Yeah, I was on the set of my son's film.
Oh, your son.
So my son.
Okay. How old is your son?
He just turned 19.
Wow.
Yes.
Stella, you look like you're 19. What's going on?
He just turned 19. You know, he was at the time. This was like a year ago. He was shooting for a short film called "See You Yesterday," which is on HBO now, right?
Nice.
Till June, so you can see it on demand. It's a short film directed by Stefan Bristol. So the photographer on that set was still using film.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it had that look.
He had the look because there's a different quality, but you can manipulate that with different Photoshops and on, you know, in the computer and stuff. So I would say whoever's doing digital, just make sure you save and back up your images, man, because computers crash.
So that's the advice you have for the young photographers.
Save. And then now they have the new thing where you can Wi-Fi the picture while you're there. You can Wi-Fi it right to the person's cell phone.
The client.
Yeah. So I could be and take a picture of you now. I'm like, okay, here, I just sent it to you.
So is it a photo shoot now quicker than back in the days photo shoots? No,
not necessarily. In the sense of being able to see the images, you see the images quicker, right? But I would say the development and the process of setting it up is kind of still similar. Some people don't feel like they want to go through the rigmarole of having the stylist and the makeup and the things that help, because the same way I'm an artist and developing your image, I feel the person who styles develops your image as well. You know, and that all those need to be understood and work together the same way the makeup works together, right?
Yes, everything comes together as one.
It's like rhythm and a rhyme, right? So
we're about to go into a commercial break. Timbo King Live. We're back with Stella Magloire. Timbo King Live.
They said that Ritalin would help me focus. They lied. Find out the truth about Ritalin. drugfreeworld.org.
And action.
I believe in a breast cancer-free world. While we're on this search for a cure, the hope is to eradicate this issue. It really has to start with the individual. We know our own bodies. Just take the time to pay attention to what it's telling you. I have an ability to affect the quality of my life, then I should.
So take one small step. Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Join me with Lifetime to stop breast cancer for life.
At Village Care Max, we're not just manage long-term care. We uplift people.
Communicating with members and their doctors is key. It's a responsibility our care managers take very seriously. We know the importance of educating members and their families about their options. We help them make the right decisions.
Village Care Max. Live the life you want. For more information, visit villagecaremax.org.
This is Timbo King Live. We're going into the top 10 music singles of this week.
I don't care if you young, old, just coming out, coming back out. The record. If you ain't got that record, always about the record. At 21, I admit I was a savage until I got knowledge of self-mathematics. I could get the cash, I just need my money managed. Why go in the stash? I got plugs out in Paris. You know what it's like to have a record and you winning. Lifestyle change, fresh start, new beginnings. It's not just you, your whole team, what a feeling. Cause off that record you can make a couple. I know for a fact I survived off of features. Hand-to-hand street sales right in front of precincts. Service to the DJs, then start charting. I walk through money, have you written out apartments?
So Stella, you had a book, and you're coming out with another one? A children's book?
Yeah, I did a children's book.
Okay.
And co-written with, well, I didn't write it. I did the photography.
Okay.
And Nicole Duncan Smith.
Okay.
And she did the writing. So we're looking to do 2 more. So
Nice.
that's exciting.
So it's going to be
really
like
good.
part 1, part 2, part 3.
Right. So
Nice.
it was called I Am Hip Hop.
I Am Hip Hop.
Right?
Children's book?
It's a I Am Hip Hop children's book.
Nice.
And
Where they can get that from? What's your social media? How they going to get in contact with you?
so this one, you have to wait for the second one now.
All right, the first one.
Yeah, the first one is done. But it was about the feeling of hip hop told through pictures and children.
I got to get that for my daughter, too.
Yeah, it's nice.
So what's your Instagram or your Facebook?
Stella Magloire at gmail.com.
Okay.
So STELLAMAGLOIRE at Instagram.com.
So
Well, you know what.
for the future, what we're going to look forward for, Stella? What we're going to see?
All right, in the future, I look to do an exhibit coming soon.
Nice.
Right, so I'll let you know.
Okay.
And then I'm looking to do the other book.
Nice. So
And
there
of
you
course,
have it.
I'll let you know whatever comes out in the future with the magazines, and I'll let you know. So I'm still sending stuff to Source Magazine, so you can still find some images there.
Nice. So there you have it. Stella Magloire, photographer of the stars. Then and now. Timbo King Live. Stay in tune. 1.
Let your paper rock. Everybody eating, yo. Let your paper rock. Everybody eating, yo. It's the green light, everything go mode. We don't stop for nothing, shipping out barrel loads. You know the streets, boy. Welcome to the terror zone. This that fam code. Everybody